I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Pistoling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
There we are. There we are. There we are. Let me turn this microphone here. There we go. All right. All right, let me do this. Let me do this. Adjust this. Adjust that. What's good, party people in the place to be? What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. It is a Thursday afternoon, and I get the opportunity to rock for a few minutes. This is dope. This sensation is fire, everybody. Like legit, it's early Thursday afternoon, and I get to rock with my people. Man, listen, man. Oh my. What's good? What's good is if this is your first time, joining us, hey, consider joining the crew, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel, right? Hit that like button, and more importantly than all of that, sit back, enjoy yourself. We're going to take our time here. I have about 5 things that I want to go over with everyone. Just share a few things, you know. Yeah, man. Hey, Rodney, man, I see you, man. Welcome. Rodney says, I'm a Lakers fan, just curious on how you think tonight's game is going to go from a Knicks fan's perspective. Man, I appreciate that. We're going to get into that some. Right. And I'm not an obnoxious Knicks fan. Right. So I'm a hardcore Knicks fan, but I feel like I'm reasonable. Like for legitimately, I'm 100% Knicks, but I'm also reasonable in that I would rather listen to the smart take from others so that I can become smarter myself, right? Hinton Murphy in the building. Fred Wong was good. Miguel P was good. Building Blocks is in the building, says absolutely. It amazes me that some fans think we don't need tweaks to win a championship when none of the players won already. I'm not counting OG because he was hurt on Toronto run the championship. Yeah, OG had a what do you call it when you appendix surgery? Appendix. So his appendix burst, and so he wasn't able to get on that run with them because it happened like right when they were about to get on it. Keith Turner's in the building. Salute. Building Blocks also says if Cat and OG aren't playing, then in the immortal words of Clubber Lang, tonight's prediction is pain. Yeah, man. I appreciate the Clubber Lang reference. right? I appreciate the Clever Lang reference also. I'm a movie buff, man. And so I like when y'all talk about that type of stuff, that's like right in my alley. Right? Right. So let's talk about that first then. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll um get to a few things that I wanted to kind of. So let me move. I have a whole bunch of stuff up here, everybody, that I have been working on before starting the show. So I'm just gonna check out ESPN and see who's available for tonight. Right, just want to see who's available for tonight's game. The Knicks at LA game cast. All right, the Knicks are favored to beat the Lakers, and Precious, Mitch, and OG are all game time decisions. For the Lakers, Luca, LeBron, Austin Reeves are all game time decisions. Markieff Morris is out until March 8th, and Jordan Goodwin is a game time decision for them. The Lakers are 5-0 in their last 5 games. They defeated New Orleans, the Clippers twice, Minnesota, and Dallas. And the Knicks lost to Boston, beat Philly, beat Memphis, beat Miami, lost to Golden State. Right? Sherwin is in the building. Sherwin says they call me a fan can be an yeah, I got you, Sherwin. I got you. Sherwin is saying the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Right? The sky is falling, everybody. What I'll say is this. In the coaching matchup, I'm going to give the Lakers the edge. I'm going to give the Lakers coaching staff the edge, not because I think JJ Redick is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau. I think he's not as risk averse as Tom Thibodeau. He's not as risk averse as Tom Thibodeau. JJ Redick will at least try new stuff. But the Lakers coaching staff has former head coaches on it. I think the Lakers coaching staff has Scott Brooks on it and some other guys. And I think what they do, I think the Lakers coaching staff serves as a counsel to a very young and promising NBA coach and JJ Redick. And he listens to them. Right. And I think he listens to him. But he's also a guy that's innovative, that will try new stuff even within a game. And so my fear is that tonight when we play the Lakers, I think the Lakers are going to take their worst defensive big, whoever that is. And I'm not saying that player is a bad defender. I'm just saying he's not the best of the group that's in there. They'll take that player and have that player guard Josh Hart. And my fear is that Josh Hart will not attack that player defensively. And if Josh Hart doesn't attack that player defensively, then whatever scheme they run will benefit them. For instance, if there's a Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, whoever their big man is, type scenario that they run, I think they'll have their worst defender of that group guard Josh Hart, and Josh Hart won't shoot or make them pay for it. That'll be key. That'll be key. Hit him up. What's good, brother? Hit him up. Says happy birthday to Josh Hart. Yeah, Josh is our guy. Happy birthday to Josh Hart, man. Josh, shoot the ball today, bro, for your birthday. Sherwin says we all love Hart, but he has to go to the bench for our best matchup. Hart will be guarding LeBron, Luka. Yeah, Hart's not gonna guard him, bro. Yeah, I was gonna mention that, Sherwin. I think what you'll see is Josh Hart guard somebody impossible for him to guard, like Rui. Josh Hart to guard someone impossible for him to guard, and they'll have to guard him accordingly. Don Puller, what's good? Yeah, Don Puller says the Knicks and Lakers who had the better team. I think it's I think if okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Lakers versus the Knicks. The Lakers have two players that will eventually go down in the GOAT conversation. They have Luka, who will eventually be in the GOAT conversation. And they have LeBron, who is already in the GOAT conversation. And the Knicks don't have anybody like that. And it's no disrespect to Knicks fans, because most teams don't have a player that could go in the GOAT conversation, right? So it's no disrespect to Knicks fans, right? You can win a championship without having a player in the GOAT conversation, right? The Celtics did it. Jason Tatum's very good. I don't see Jason Tatum ever being in the GOAT conversation, though. Right? And I think, and no disrespect to our coaching staff, I just don't see the impact of the Knicks staff on Tom Thibodeau. Chat, will y'all agree? Chat, will y'all agree? Do you see anybody on the Knicks coaching staff having a heavy impact on our head coach? And it's not an indictment. This is not an indictment. This is just a question. Right? Like legitimately, I don't see one of our assistant coaches going to Tom Thibodeau saying, hey, coach, you know, we have been trying such and such and such. Such and such and such ain't working. How about we try this new thing? I just don't see us having it. And if we have a monarchy as a coaching staff, that's fine. If it's a monarchy, I get it. At least we understand it. You feel me? Like at least we understand what it is that we're dealing with. Where the weird stuff comes in is if we didn't know what we had. Right? That would be the strange part. Like if we didn't understand or know what the coaching staff was like. Right? We know we have a king on our coaching staff, and everybody else is like worker bees. Right? It's not like when you watch the Memphis Grizzlies and something happens and 7 coaches all huddle up together, and including the head coach, and they decide what happens. You don't see that like with the Memphis Grizzlies or with the Minnesota Timberwolves, where there is a king, but there are like 2 assistants at his side at all times. Like even with Chris Finch, who is probably in a monarchy, but he has like those 2 dudes next to him. Every Timberwolves game you see, You have dudes right next to Chris Finch, like in his ear, and like a dude behind him, like, "Yay, coach, this is what they're doing." Yep. And Don Pula says, "I think JJ Redick is making it." Yeah, yeah. And the thing with JJ also, the thing with JJ also is I think he's an excellent communicator. And even though he has an ego, it's not like an older, haggard coach ego. Like JJ's ego may come from confidence and a confidence in I've played this game with a lot of different players and this is what I believe in versus where we are. So, and it's no disrespect to our coaching staff. I don't mean it to come across that way. It's just all coaching staffs are built different. And whether that's the reality, we're not totally sure. But what we do know for sure, that's the perception of it. That's the perception of it. Yeah, hit him up. Yeah, Johnny Bryant did I saw Johnny Bryant doing it. Man, going to games, bro, you see Johnny Bryant up. The substitution pattern, all of that. All of that. Johnny Bryant was doing all of that. All the stuff happening on the bench, Johnny Bryant going, taking care of all of that. Right? But let me get to this question here for you. So this question here, I'm going to put it on the screen. And I want you guys to kind of help me with it. Right? I want you guys to kind of help me with this. Should the Knicks make changes in order to become a legit contender and beat the top teams? Right? Should the Knicks, I'm going to change the color on this also because it's blending in. Let's see if we can change. Let's see if we can change that color. Let's see if we can change the color. Here we are. Ooh. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Hey, so Fred says, we have all the players we need. We just need the proper coach to run the correct offensive and defensive schemes. And so I'll be the first to admit that I struggle with Tom Thibodeau. Not that I dislike Tibbs, but there are certain things, man, that I'm like, if I were there on a daily basis, certain things I would say to Tibbs, like, hey, tighten up, bro. Like you know how you have your mans, like your mans will be like, hey, big dog, you gotta tighten up, man. Key Turner, I'll give you an example. I have a homeboy that don't like to tip. Right? Like we at the barber shop, he paid the exact price. He ain't tipping nothing. Right? And when we go somewhere to eat, he ain't leaving no money on the table. Cause think about this. This is what he asked me. He like, yo, why are you leaving money on the table? Has that ever been a good habit? And I'm like, tipping and leaving money on the table are two different things, right? IKBM Dre is in the building, salute. Ty Barbie's in the building, salute. Tipping and leaving money on the table while they look the same are not the same thing. right? So I talked to my mans. I'm like, yo, you don't have to do it. You don't have to tip. But it would be a good practice, man. Karma. Right? And so if I were with Tom Thibodeau on a daily basis, he probably wouldn't want me around because I'll learn a lot and I follow instructions. I like structure. I like structure. Right? But when something sticks out, like when something's a thorn in my hand or a rock in my shoe, I'll be the first one to say, hey, Cat got hurt and he came to the bench and you turned your back on him. That's telling me right there that when things get hard, you turn your back. Now, while that seems small and petty, that makes me think, when I need you, are you going to turn your back? And then you're going to come to me and ask me for 100%. And I would be like, I'm going to give you what's required. And now we have this weird, all because of body language. Hey, Sherwin, I feel you. I'm going to speak to this grouping that you mentioned, right? And I think you mentioned this 3 weeks ago. I think you mentioned this 3 weeks ago. But the thing that I talked to y'all about a lot is the way that you communicate your idea, right? Saying it and the way that you communicate it are two different things, right? It's my issue with Corey Lee. Like Corey Lee will say something, but the way that it's communicated will be like, come on, dog, add some more. I mean, what are we doing out here? What are we doing out here? So give an example. Give an example, right, of this. What Sherwin is telling us with this lineup, right? with this lineup is that, and this is me delving into this man's thought. What he's telling me is that the Knicks starting five is too small. Right? That's what he's telling me when I see that. Right? Sherwin, here's the thing to that though. Historically, Karl-Anthony Towns picks up ticky-tack fouls on the perimeter. So if you go Mitch, Cat, OG, Bridges, Brunson, right? When they pull Mitchell Robinson out on the perimeter to defend the pick and roll, of course, having Cat as your rim protector is promising, right? Because now all Cat has to do is react. He doesn't have to read anything. All he has to do is delve into big man instincts. See the ball swatted. See the ball rebounded. Right? And vice versa. When teams pull Cat out into space to run the pick and roll, Cat can go press the ball handler, and Mitchell Robinson rotates in behind Cat as the weak side rim protection. That would be perfect, right? That would be perfect. And now you also don't have rebounding issues because you have one of the greatest offensive rebounders in the game, and you have one of the greatest defensive rebounders in the game, right? You see what that creates? That creates a world where, in theory, it should work defensively, because not only do you create a bad shot, you also have the cleanup crew to end the possession and get you back on offense. Where this doesn't work, though, is Mitchell Robinson on offense turns Karl Anthony Towns into a spot-up shooter. So you just, by having him and Mitch together, you take away all of Cat's offense. All of it. Why do I need to give Cat space to shoot a three when he can't go by me to an empty lane? Now I could guard Cat with someone 6'7" and guard Mitch with somebody 6'9", and then put a 6'9" guy to guard Jalen Brunson for 36 minutes. Hey, building blocks, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on this one. I'm going to go back to the point. I saw it, but I just want to disagree slightly. I think Karl Anthony Towns may have the best handle of any big man in the NBA. I think Cat's handles, and not just dribbling now. When I say ball handling, I mean the ball handling aspect in general. And Sherman says teams were guarding Cat with players 6. So just keep doing it. So just because you smoke cigarettes for 40 years means you should just keep smoking. Nah. Danny Landis is in the building. Salute, Danny. What's good, man? And Fred Wong says, no, you put Cat in the block down low. When the double team comes, kick it out to the shooters. See, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? When you put Cat on the block, you have to have slashers, not just shooters. You have to have the combination of both. Because if you put Cat on the block and Mitch is on the other block, doesn't that mean Mitch's man can just come over and double team Cat? And then if you put Cat on the block and Brunson, who's the best shooter, gives the entry pass, you can bring 3 defenders to those 2 offensive players and double team either. And then when you kick the ball out to the other guys, right? Mitch is not a 3-point shooter nor a slasher. And OG and Bridges are both shooting somewhere between 35 and 37% from 3. So they're not even threats. Sherwin says, if you understand the pick and roll. Sherwin, again, people are not stupid, bro. Like just as soon as you read this is assuming that one person knows everything and no one else knows anything. And so this is, just imagine what everyone else is thinking when they read this comment. Right. Chat, think about this. When you see this comment, what do you think? Freezy, if you understand pick and roll defense, what do y'all, what's the first thing y'all think about when you read that? And mind you, the Knicks were playing 66, were winning at a 66% clip before Mitchell Robinson came back from injury. I'm gonna go back to Sherwin's thing though, just really quick. So he says, you know, yeah, right. He drops back every time for rebounds, right? The center should step up more than drop back. This is double talk. See, this is double talk, right? The double talk here is if Cat steps up to cut off the floater, Josh Hart is your rim protector. If Cat steps up, Josh Hart or Jalen Brunson are your rim protectors. And you know this. That's why you said put Mitch in there with Cat. That's the reason why you say that. Right? The thing is you don't know the answer to that because you haven't seen Cat and Mitch together. What's the likelihood of if Mitch and Cat were together in possessions, just say in possessions, say they play 10 minutes together, 5 in the first half, 5 in the second half, right? If Cat is the drop man and say Trae Young threatens the paint, why wouldn't Cat go up to press Trae Young and Mitchell Robinson rotate in behind him? Wouldn't that make sense? That does make sense. That does make sense. But since we don't see it, we can't speak to it. Right? But here's the thing. We spend a lot of time talking about pick and roll coverage. Right? And teams run pick and roll about 23 times a game. Out of a team's 88 shots, they're going to roll pick and roll. They're going to run pick and roll 24 times. What do you do with those other 65 possessions? Right? Like legitimately, everybody, teams run pick and roll about 24 times a game, and they get up about 88 shots a game. So what do you do with those other 64 shots? Right? Because possessions and shots don't necessarily have to equate, because you could possess the ball and get up multiple shots in one possession and one trip down the floor. Right? right? Possession doesn't necessarily equate to shots. You can shoot it, get the offensive rebound, cycle it, shoot it, get the offensive rebound. You feel me? So possessing it and shooting it are equatable but separate. Also, also the pick and roll conversation can't be what leads our conversation in terms of improving what a team does offensively and defensively, because there are many more aspects to offense than pick and roll. Pick and roll is the low man argument. If you don't know anything and you want to sound smart, say pick and roll. If you're learning basketball and you want to impress somebody, say pick and roll. Right? Because a lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand the nuances of it. Like, for instance, when you say pick and roll, it's like saying throw the football. Football fans, you can equate it to throwing the football. Man, we need to throw the football more. They're not talking about what type of passing attack, right? They're not talking about the personnel groupings. They're not talking about the what type of blocking scheme for certain type passes, right? And so what I would suggest the Knicks do, in these cases is, if pick and roll coverage is the rock in your shoe, start at the point of attack. Start the point of attack of it. How about when teams look to get into a pick and roll, blitz it? Trap it. If you feel like the pick and roll is destroying your defense, then why do you let them get into the pick and roll play again and again anyway? There's more than one way to defend any NBA offense. Right? Teams do it to us. Teams show brackets to every time Jalen Brunson looks to do it. Or not every time. That's a misstep on my part. Let me restate that. When Jalen Brunson looks to run it, teams will bracket and let him know that if the screener comes, they may trap it. Sherman says, according to data from Second Spectrum, an average NBA team runs a pick and roll or ball screen on dog. A ball screen and a pick and roll, there are two different things. You got to relax. A ball screen, I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm in the comments too much. I'm gonna get back on track and talk some stuff. A ball screen and a pick and roll play are two different things, and they kind of look different. You can run a ball screen in the backcourt just to get a hounding defender off. That's a ball screen. You can run a screen up top to get into other actions, and it's not pick and roll. And just because somebody sets a screen doesn't mean they have to roll. They can fade, they can pop, they can rescreen, they can screen for another screener. Let's get to some real stuff, everybody. Let's talk about some real stuff, right? Let's talk about, should the Knicks make changes in order to become a legit contender and beat top teams? Now, here's the thing. I'm all for making changes if it makes sense. I'm all for making changes in order to become a legit contender if it makes sense. Right? If it makes sense. For instance, one of the changes that I would consider, so I have a note right here. One of the changes that I would consider is go all in on offense. And I know, and chat, I know this is an unpopular opinion, so I'm going to put a poll out here. I'm going to do a poll really quick. Let's see, get a shareable link. Let me put it. Okay, let me move this here. Where's my plus button? Start a poll. Where's my volume? Come on. Okay, YouTube. I'm gonna refresh that screen, but I'm gonna rock the mic for a little bit. Okay. So, can you hear me? Fritz, can y'all hear me? Let me check my audio. Check. Check. There we are. All right. All right. All right. So here's the thing. Should the Knicks make changes in order to become a legit contender and beat the top teams? Yes. Right. That's where I'm at. If the changes make sense. One of the changes that I would suggest is stop fighting a thing that you can't win. Right? I'm going to add this out here really quick. Okay. Should I'm gonna move this microphone. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff going on here, y'all. A lot of stuff going on here. All right, there we go. We put this phone over here. Yes for one and no for the other. There we are. So the poll is out there, everybody. And my question to y'all is this. Should the Knicks just consider playing to their strengths and just go all offense? Right? And not saying play no defense, just take emphasis off of something that looks like it can't be fixed and just play to your strength. Just Knicks was good. Jake was good. Right? My thing is if Mikal Bridges didn't get banged up on screens 200 times a game, Mikal Bridges could legitimately get us about 23 points a game on great efficiency. I think that Mikal Bridges getting smashed into screens 200 times a game lowers his three-point percentage and takes away his offensive efficiency. But if we stopped him from getting smashed on screens, and letting that man cook on offense, I think the Knicks probably could knock off a few teams in the playoffs being an all offensive fighter with no defense. Right? Now, that may not be a popular opinion because we come from a place that values defense. We come from a place that values defense. Right? For people that don't know, the defense chat was created by Giants fans. Any New York football Giants fans in the building? The history of the chant, defense, 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 that was created in the 1950s by the New York football Giants fans. Right? New York football Giants fans created that. We come from an area that and for those that don't know, the way it's pronounced is defense. That's why when you hear people say it officially, there's no such thing as the Department of Defense. It's the Department of Defense. People don't say the Department of Defense. We come from a place that loves, respects, cherishes, and damn near has to have defense. What I'm saying to you, though, is if playing to your personnel gets you more victories, would you try to get the very best out of those guys? Or would you try to make traditionally offensive players defensive? Wiz is in the building. Salute. Wiz, I'm going to ask you this, Wiz. Wiz is a reasonable person. Wiz, would you consider tapping into the untapped offensive potential of this team, would you consider Jalen Brunson 30 points a game, Cat 30 points, 15 rebounds, Mikal Bridges 20 points, OG 15, 17, 18, 20 points a game? And maybe on most nights, the Knicks win 130 to 121. Would you consider that, as opposed to every Knicks YouTube channel you go to, people are complaining about the pick and roll defense and Cat's defense and why we can't win, even though the team is 19 games over 500? Just doesn't make sense. I'm asking. Like, in my opinion, would I consider making a change if it makes sense? Yes. I think so. I think so. Keith Turner says, I don't even think we can win a championship with Cat. What do you mean, a center that can't play defense? Because if we're talking about centers that can't play defense, Jokic just won a championship 2 years ago. What are we saying? What are we saying? And don't talk to me about Jamal Murray's defense either. Don't talk to me about Michael Porter Jr.'s defense either. Right? People are like, well, they had other defenders on the floor. They had Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic. Okay. People will say, well, they had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is not an elite defender. He's good. But I would take OG Anunoby over him in a heartbeat. I would take Mikal Bridges over him in a heartbeat. And you know who else would? Every other NBA team in the NBA. Nah, don't start eating your words. Don't start chewing your Turner. Don't do that. Don't do Turner. You my man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just double down on your point. Double down on it. Double down on your point. That's my guy. I'm going to check the poll to see. Oh, boy, y'all in trouble. Should the Knicks just consider playing to their strength and just go all offense? The yeses are kicking y'all behind. The yeses are kicking y'all behind, bro. This is more interesting than what I thought. This is more interesting than what I thought, man. The yeses are kicking y'all behind. All y'all people that just wanted defense. All right, I'm going to check the poll one more time, and then I'm going to give it. Okay. Somebody, they tried to close the gap, but would you just play to your personnel, or would you try to change the personnel year after year after year? Try to change it. Yeah, man, we need Jalen Brunson to lock down on defense. We need Cat to lock down on defense. Just let them be who they play to their strengths. The reason why Rudy Gobert starts, he's a defender. He's a defender by nature, so he's playing to his strength. He's playing to what got him to the league. HRM is in the building. Fritz House Indoors in the building. Salute.
Hey, what's up, Uncle Freezy?
What's good, boss? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Doing good.
Hey, man, I'm going to ask you the question. If a change had to be made, would you rather have this offensively minded team play to their strengths with less emphasis on defense, or continue on this path and turn Jalen Brunson and Cat and Josh Hart into lockdown defenders?
No, you gotta play to your strengths. Gotta
Right.
play to your strengths. I think that's what the most championship coaches, the type of coaches that you hire, championship for hire coaches is to take what I got,
right,
and just make the best of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And you see, and look at what Fred Wong is saying. Like Fred says, we cannot continue to leave guys open for three. Those are layups in today's NBA. Wong is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Wong, you're right. And that we're doing that with an emphasis on stopping it. We're doing that with an emphasis on stopping open threes. Right? What teams are doing is they want to shoot the three. They're going to do a couple of things. Right? What they're going to do is put Mikal Bridges in some type of screening situation where the screener is going to walk Bridges out of the play, and now you have a ball handler on a bad defender. Right? They're going to isolate OG Anunoby and his man in some corner where OG can't cover the other 3,500 square feet. Right? And now you have Brunson, Josh, and Cat to defend three great offensive players. Right? And at times, a team will miss, will get the rebound and push it down the floor and hit a two. Right? Josh Hart will get a layup attacking the rim at the other end. Right? But then there are times when those teams get those open threes. Hey, you remember the Pistons game where we couldn't stop that guy off the bench, Malik Beasley? Fridge, you remember the Malik Beasley game?
When was
against
this?
The Pistons?
Yes.
That man hit 8 threes against us or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were leaving, there was a certain spot on the floor that was wide open all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because they screened Bridges, right? And Beef Stew walks Bridges out of the play. Now Bridges is stuck with Beef Stew, and now you have Cade Cunningham being guarded by Jalen Brunson, right? Mm-hmm. And then so now you have Cat stuck on Tobias Harris. Right, and some weird switch, right? And now you have Cat on guarding Tobias Harris, and now you have Josh Hart having to be the double team defender. Does he double team Tobias Harris so that Cat won't get beat off the dribble, or does he double team Cade Cunningham so Cade doesn't just shoot over the top of Jalen Brunson? Well, what does that do? It leaves a millisecond. And 1 millisecond, if Josh doesn't commit and make the right decision, if he stays in place, Tobias Harris for three. Right? If he stays in place, Cade Cunningham for three. Right? If he makes the wrong decision, then Malik Beasley wide open for three. And teams are going to wonder why we give up so many threes. Is because we put a emphasis on it. Hey, John Bryce in the building, salute. we put so much of an emphasis on that defensive thing and don't have the personnel to execute that defensive thing. So even if you get it right, you still don't get the result you want. In a perfect world, Mikal Bridges stops Cade Cunningham, and OG Anunoby stops their second scorer, and their fourth, fifth scorer launches threes at a terribly bad rate, and we blow them off the floor. But teams are too smart for that. Their coaching staff gets paid also. And so I asked the question, if Jalen Brunson's a bad but willing defender, if Cat's a bad defender who is apathetic to the defense, if Josh Hart's a bad defender that looks like a good defender because he plays with a lot of energy, then why not play to their strengths?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people romanticize the past. Some of the Knicks teams that we grew up on, they romanticize some of it.
Yeah.
But the Knicks were playing to their strengths. Those players couldn't. We were barely putting up 90 a game.
Right.
If we could have put up 90 a game, we would have.
When's the last great Knicks defense you saw win a championship?
Oh no, I've never seen one.
Great answer. That was a trick question. You know, it's a trick question, right? Chad, that was a trick question, but Fritz too slick for that, man. And so I asked him, I asked Fritz, like, Fritz, what was the last great Knicks defense you saw win a championship? Right? And Fritz was like, nah, not me. Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess ultimately what I'm saying is, why are we fretting about Karl Anthony Towns not being Patrick Ewing? Right? When we could just look to optimize and get the very best out of Karl Anthony Towns. Right? What I would say is this. Pick up the pace, make them miss, run these teams up and down the floor, and get these teams out of here. And then when we get in the playoffs, try to do the same thing, right? Try to do the same thing. If the pace is cut by 25% in the playoffs, you still have Cat and Jalen Brunson.
Mm.
That's what I would say. Tonight against the Lakers, get them running. Showtime in LA is what I would introduce. Josh, every rebound you get, push it up the floor. That would be what I would say. Yeah. That's my move, Fritz. Right? Because think about it, for the next 3 years, we're locked into this roster, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And do we spend the next 3 years? Do we spend the next 3 years reinventing Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, or do we play to their strengths?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, y'all gotta vote, man. Y'all gotta vote, bro. The yeses are whooping the defense, man. Yo, defense people, Y'all are outnumbered. Y'all got to do something, man. Hey, play to your strength. It's whooping y'all behind, man. Y'all got to get out there and vote, man. Or, Fritz, or the silent majority has always felt this way, and the people that love defense are just the loud minority. Something to think about, right?
That's all they know, though. If you grew up on the Knicks, that's all you know.
I would say this. Let me look before I suggest. I'm just gonna look one more time. Man, y'all are getting egg scrambled, man. Hey, the people for defense in the chat, now y'all getting egg scrambled, bro. It's 67% to 33%.
Mm-hmm.
Play to your strengths. Stop trying to reinvent Cat and optimize Cat. Stop trying to turn Cat into Mitchell Robinson. Stop trying to turn Jalen Brunson into Lou Dort. And just optimize them. Fritz, this is wild. Okay. Yeah, this is wild, man. Did before this today, have you ever heard this from the fans? Optimizing Cat. Like, what is all this defensive talk about, man? Just optimize Cat, bro.
No, not really. Like, they want their kick and need it too. They want the best defense and the best offense.
Talking about the fans?
Fans, they want the best of everything. And I think with the coach they have, who has a certain reputation, and they're like, okay, well, what are we gonna do to live up to that expectation or that expectation? But it ain't all about the coaches, but what's best for what you got.
In my mind, Karl Anthony Towns, pound for pound, is the most unguardable player in the NBA, pound for pound.
Mm.
I'm talking pound for pound now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's better than SGA. I'm just saying pound for pound. There's no NBA center in this league that can guard Cat, including Mitch. Right? I don't think there is a guy. Now, can he get his shot blocked? Yeah, when people bring the help defender, they can block his shot. Everybody gets their shot blocked. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is instead of letting my man Mikal Bridges get mashed every game 120 times, let him go under screen, save his legs. And if you give up 2 threes, you are bad defensively anyway. Let that man go down there and score. We're getting Mikal Bridges mashed 100 or so times a night, and then we complain that he don't have legs on his jump shot. Right? And then what I would say also to the people that love defense, right? Because I love defense also, but I also want to win a championship. What I would say to y'all is I'm not giving up on defense. What I'm doing is letting the dogs out. And I'll snitch on myself. When they ask who let the dogs out, I'll be like, me. I did it. What I'm saying is let the dogs out. Overplay passes and let Bridges and OG and Josh gamble and to get steals, play passing lanes, and create havoc, as opposed to trying to be a brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall. I'm like, nah. Let these dudes use their athleticism, right? Our team doesn't even look at Fritz. Does our team look athletic to you?
They should be, but they're not.
They don't look athletic because we don't get in passing lanes, right? We don't pressure the passer, right? Teams come down, you see them doing their little thing, and I'm like, man, get on their hip, bro. Force them to make them pick up their dribble, make them throw that 30-foot pass, so Josh can go the other way with it and dunk. Instead of having Josh post. Fritz, the other day. So we played Boston and got blown out one Friday. I think it was a Friday, right? A Thursday or Friday? When we lost back to Cleveland and Boston.
Friday, Saturday, I think.
Right.
Friday, Saturday.
Bro, in that game we played Boston, and our defense, Josh Hart legit grabbed Porzingis, and Porzingis posted him up.
Mm-hmm.
I know Josh is strong, right? But Porzingis has about 11 inches, 10 inches on that dude, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is let the dogs out. Turn up the pressure defensively. Try to turn teams over. And if you get beat, you get beat. But don't let them methodically pick you apart and whatever offensive set they're running, and you're staying disciplined and back in certain plays and such and such. And then when the shot go up, you have to grab 100% of the defensive rebounds for your defense to work. I just think that is not playing to our strength. Playing to our strength is the Knicks in transition, and the other team's 7-footer has to keep up with Cat all game. Hey, Wong, we doing that already. Wong, we're doing this already, and we have a defensive mindset. Teams are shooting. At last I checked, teams were shooting 38% from three on us. I'm going to check it real quick right now. Fritz, if there was a change to be made, what would that change be for you?
With 20-something games left?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Josh Hart going to the bench at this point.
Oh, man. So, Fritz, the Knicks are 30th in the NBA, last in the NBA in 3-point percentage against.
Yeah. Yeah, just the approach is bad. Just how they're approaching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Knicks are 25th in the NBA in field goal percentage against. Here's the thing. How are you going to go from 25th in 2-pointers and 30th in 3-pointers in 20 games, and everybody legitimately is healthy.
Yeah.
It's your personnel being used the incorrect way. I think I'm going all in on offense, man.
Yeah. But Freezy, I see your point. But there's a lot of people who's like, just keep it up and maybe they catch fire.
Maybe. And maybe I'm married to Janet Jackson, and maybe that lottery ticket that I have is a winner. Maybe.
I mean, I'm with you, Freezy. I'm with you, Freezy. But there's just a certain people. It's like, hey, they committed to it. They committed to the idea of Tom Thibodeau's elite coach, and we got 2 elite wings. And if we keep it up, it gotta work.
How do you get rid of Randall and Dante, right? And your defense get worse?
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't be all Cat's fault, right? Cat is one person.
Yep.
Is it your scheme? Probably. Is it our identity? Definitely. Hey Wong, I disagree with you, bro. I feel like if you want to be the best, get the best version of your players and adjust your schemes accordingly. Right? Like what does this team do best? You know Cat can score on anybody. And you know when Cat is feeling good, he gonna grab 20, 25 rebounds. It ain't nothing. We seen this shit. We saw Cat get one game this year. I forget. Cat had 9 rebounds in the first quarter. Cat was grabbing so many boards. It was like it was so natural. You ain't even notice. You're like, damn, Cat got 9 rebounds in the first quarter. Yeah. And if Jalen Brunson wants to dribble, hey, let him do it. If Jalen Brunson wants to dribble the Brown off the, let him do it. Just let him do it with that second unit with Deuce on it. That unit with Deuce and Shamit and Precious. Man, Jalen Brunson with that unit getting all the shots. What are we talking about? Yeah, man. J Boogie in the building. Salute. That's what I'm doing, Fritz. Fritz, can you imagine Jalen Brunson scoring against second units and not against a team's primary defender every night?
That's abuse. It's abuse. Yeah.
Why don't we try it though? You know why we don't try it, right? That means you'll have to change something. That means Tom Thibodeau would have to change a rotation. That means Jalen Brunson, instead of playing 10 minutes in the first quarter, he'd have to play 7. Right? We're not talking about cutting Jalen Brunson's minutes, right? Yo, Dope Soul is in the building. I was gonna call it. Fritz, when I was talking to you, I was gonna call Dope Soul and just put a rock in her shoe. Queen B, I was gonna run this idea by you. Like, why not just optimize Jalen Brunson and Cat and Bridges instead of fixing something that you know won't be fixed? Go all in on the thing that you do well. In my mind. In my mind, that's what I'm considering. I'm considering that, Fritz. I'm also considering Jalen Brunson eating against second units.
Mhm.
So what does that mean for Landry Shamit's shots, though? I don't give a damn about Landry Shamit. Yo, Uncle Free, but what about Landry Shamit's shots, man? He coming along. Man, I don't care. If y'all don't stop, Fritz, you think I care about Landry Shamit's rhythm on the second unit?
Nah. I do have a question.
You talking about for the chat or for me?
For you. Like, how would you achieve that? You're talking still starting. Of course, he's starting. But doesn't most of the team follow what Jalen Brunson's doing? So when Jalen Brunson sits, they sit their guy. Then when Jalen Brunson comes in the game, they put their guy in.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that just by, or are you asking me? Am I
I'm
worried
asking
about?
you.
No. I'm saying. I'm with you. Are you asking me? Am I concerned that another team has to distort their rotations to match up with ours? Is that the question I'm hearing?
Yeah, but I mean, like ultimately,
And I ain't worried about no team distorting their. You mean a team will take a defender off the floor to match up with Brunson, but when Cameron Payne enters, there's a lesser defender on the floor for OG, Bridges, and Cat.
mhm.
That's what we want. That's a win. Fritz, thank you for that layup question, bro. I appreciate that. I needed that. I was hungry. I appreciate that.
No,
I
I'm just.
appreciate
I
that
know.
layup.
I just needed you to clarify because when you said him playing against bench people like the assumption could be, oh, he's coming off the bench, or
No, he ain't coming off the bench.
he ain't coming off the bench,
No,
or the other assumption is,
they're going to distort their defensive rotation
yeah,
to match up with our offense.
yeah.
What kind of question? What? I don't care. Because think about it. Even now, if you put that defender and they still double with Brunson, they still double Brunson. You're doubling with less defenders. I love it. Even if that's the case, they're doubling with weaker defenders. Brunson's gonna win. Right now, I'm saying this team is 30th in 3-point percentage against. Mitchell Robinson coming back is not going to fix that. Right? This team is giving up. This team is 25th in field goal percentage against. What I'm saying is go all in. Instead of getting Bridges murdered on screens all night, 200 times a game, let that man go under. Let that man use his length. Why don't we use our length on defense?
Okay. I saw a little confusion in the chat. So you're talking about playing campaign a lot more time with the starters.
No, not a lot more time.
No, but his time would be with the starters instead of
No,
coming
you
off the
no no.
bench.
I think you already is off on the wrong. You're
Okay.
not playing. You're not playing campaign more minutes. You're playing Cameron Payne different minutes,
Yeah.
right? So if he's playing 10 minutes a game,
Hmm.
instead of all 10 playing with the bench guys, he's playing 5 with the bench and 5 with the starters.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just a little clarification because in the chat, because like we said, they're gonna adjust. So it's actually the bench person who's actually, the big most of the switches, the bench person, but it affects Jalen Brunson. Uh, yeah.
And I'll give an example.
Okay.
Right, I'll use Atlanta. Right, what's Atlanta's shooting guard name? The light skinned dude, the ginger, the
Because
6'7" guy. What's his name? Chat. What's the 6'7" ginger from Atlanta? The Steals leader.
Dyson Daniels.
Yeah.
Dyson. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So in these minutes where, and I'm just going to use them for an example. New York is playing Atlanta. You sub Brunson out at the 7-minute mark, right? Right. They leave Dyson Daniels in the game. This is just one example. I'm going to use both, right? I'm going to use the non-follow and the follow example, right? In the non-follow example, Brunson goes to the bench and he comes in with Shamit, Deuce, and Precious, right? Now, Jalen Brunson is being guarded by Kobe Buffkin and Bogdanovich. That's a win because they're wasting those defensive minutes on Cameron Payne, right? Or Mikal Bridges. They'll probably put Dyson Daniels on Mikal Bridges at that point, right? That's a win for us because we're still going to be a plus because we still have 2 dynamic scorers in that unit, and Cat, OG, and Bridges, right? Now here's the follow exception, right? Brunson leaves the game, right? They bring in Kobe Buffkin to sit Dyson Daniels so that Dyson Daniels can follow Jalen Brunson all game, right? And now you have Kobe Buffkin guarding Cameron Payne, Mikal Bridges, or OG, or whoever he switched on to. And then on that second unit that doesn't have a big, you're asking Dyson Daniels to guard Jalen Brunson one-on-one with 0 defensive help. You'll win some, you'll lose some. Atlanta will win a little bit, but Brunson will destroy Atlanta's second unit, even with Dyson Daniels on it. Right? That's what I'm saying to you. Do you need to go out and make a major change personnel-wise? No. Should you optimize what you have? Right? Should you release the hounds? Yes. Should you let Jalen Brunson be the ultimate scoring machine? Yes. Should you let Cat be the ultimate scoring machine? Yes. Spread that floor and let Cat drive to the rim as much as he wants. As soon as Cat take off, the first thing they do is put their hands on Cat. That's the foul. NBA bigs cannot guard Cat. Starting at about 6'8" to 7, whatever, they can't guard him on the perimeter. That's why you hear Cat under the rim zesty all the time. Oh my God. Because he get murdered. These dudes think about what I'm saying. Cat going to the rim and winding under the rim means Cat got to the rim. People saying, nah, man, he should play through it, right? Cat should play through it. Cat should play through it, right? No. If Cat is complaining he's getting fouled at the rim, that means he took somebody off the dribble and got to the rim. That's for everyone. I dare somebody in here to name the 7-footer. Even Wemby. On Christmas Day, you saw it. Cat up fake, put Wemby on his hip all the way to the rim. They had to bring 2 or 3 guys to block Cat shot because we didn't have shooters on the floor. We got to optimize it, man. Why would we live in a world where we say we need less Cat offense and more Cat defense when we know Cat's offense is elite and his defense is trash? It's crazy, right? These small things, bro. Like all it takes is Fritz, when have you seen Mikal Bridges go on a heater?
A couple times this season. A few times. Not often enough.
No, I mean a heater. I'm talking about looked like he could have went for 50.
I think twice this season. I think twice.
And in both of those games, he was matched up against bigger, stronger, more athletic wings, and he used craftiness in order to exploit them. The Christmas Day game, when he kept putting Wemby in a mixer, and they had Devin Vassell, Steph Castle, Champagnie, all these Jeremy Sohan, all of these 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" athletes that were guarding Bridges, and he was exploiting them and went for 40 on Christmas Day. But instead of us tapping into that, we're like, nah, man, we need, instead of him, I know 200 times is a lot for him to get matched up on screens, but we need to get him matched up 300 times a night on screens. In my mind, it doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to use a Ferrari to move furniture. Some people do that. Fridge, you ever seen that before? Like a little economy car with a big sofa on the roof strapped to it, somebody moving it?
Yep.
Y'all ever seen that? Instead of renting a truck, they tied a big sofa to the top of a Honda Civic. Why? Just go rent a truck. This is the thing I'm saying with Brunson. Instead of see, now I'm getting mad, chat. Now I'm angry, right? Because a thought just ran across my mind, and it just pissed me off, right? And I'm gonna share it with y'all, right? Why are we letting Jalen Brunson lead the league in charges when he's our best player? Why are we cutting? Yeah, JB, way to take that charge right there. Man, are you serious?
He hit the floor way too many times, offense and defense.
Why are we clapping when Jalen Brunson take a charge? Right?
Mm-hmm. Why
Why are we clapping when JB take a charge? We should be like, JB, get the hell out the way. Or JB, meet him out front. Because one of these times, JB is going to hit the floor and he ain't going to get up. JB is going to hit the floor and he ain't going to get up. And we're going to look for somebody to be the scapegoat. Right? We probably going to blame Cat. Well, if Cat was right there, Jalen Brunson wouldn't have got the hell knocked out of him. Nah, bro, it ain't Jalen Brunson or Cat. It's the scheme. It's the scheme. We saw multiple instances of what happens if you unlock OG Anunoby and let him play. Right? Some team tried to run earlier this year. I think it was Indiana. I think it was Indiana at the beginning of the season. They tried to run a Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam pick and roll. And our two participants were Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Suffice to say, OG went and let Siakam set the screen, and Bridges was smothering Halliburton. We wound up deflecting the ball, going down the other end and getting a layup. But you didn't see that sense. Teams wised up. They're like, no, there's no way we can get Bridges and OG in the same action because they'll disrupt it. So what we'll do is get their two worst defenders in action and it won't be disrupted. So Fritz, in the grand scheme of things, I guess what I'm saying to you, man, is this. Why not just tap into the untapped potential?
Why not?
Is that a crime? DSJ, why? It's no crime. If I'm guilty of love, then let me do my time, right? Is that how it go? DSJ, is that how the song go? DSJ, is that how it go? DSJ must be sleepy. He might have worked. DSJ might have worked last night because he don't know where I'm going with it. There he is. There he is. All right. So Fritz, that's the one thing. If there are changes, should the Knicks make changes in order to become a legit contender and beat the top teams? That's one of the things I'll do. Go all in on the thing you're good at.
Gotta try something. Yeah. This ain't working.
Yeah, back in the day, in the 70s, right in the 70s, out on the Ave, the old timers used to say this thing to us, like, "Hey, what you doing there, boy?" Like, "Man, I ain't doing that." Like, and there's "Hey, boy, ain't no half stepping. Don't half step. Find what you're good at, and go all in on it. Be that. Don't half step." Right? I feel like that's what we're doing. We're trying to have a foot in both places at the same time instead of us playing to our strengths. I ain't gonna front though. There are some that like the compromise of doing both. Like a half step over here and a half step over there. Hey, y'all, hit that like button. If you like Fritz Alcindor's New avatar, man. Y'all smash that like button. DSJ is on one, right? So here's another one for us, Fritz. Something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something to consider. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the NBA Economy Show. The goal is, I think it's the goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers in like the next 30 days. I think that's what the goal is. So so just man, help out where you can. Help out where you can, man. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Here's another thing for us to think about, to discuss. Do the Knicks need a mega star beside Jalen Brunson?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes, that's why I preface. I started the sentence with the word "do."
I think Dolan would like one.
I'm talking about on the court though, for the stuff that not for the stuff that comes with a star. I'm talking about a
Okay.
star on the court.
Not necessarily.
Mm.
I think then probably another scorer because I think they were really hoping Macau would be that scorer.
Bro, but Tom Thibodeau is moving sofas with a Honda Civic, bro.
Yeah.
That man can't you can't be a 20-point scorer if you getting hit 400 times a game with screens, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you expound on that though?
No, I think Brunson and Cat, they are the main guy, but you needed someone to could complement that. Macau being a shooter, that would have been ideal, but um, yeah, he has a lot he's juggling. Um, but like big scorers, they cost a lot. I don't know if they would ever give the reins to a young player,
Yeah.
like a young player. I know Tibbs isn't the type of person to let them give like a young player with potential, like give him that spot.
Right.
But I think, another coach would. I think they would.
Mm.
A player in his first or second year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Because you're not, where the Knicks are, they're not going to add another $50 million player. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To this roster. So you got to, within those financial constraints, can you get someone who's like, I know this person's athletic enough and get the shots up. I think they can, I think they can give me 17 to go with Mikel's 17.
Does star mean score?
The score, yes, scorer may not have to be a great all around player, but a scorer. Yeah.
I offer this.
Mm-hmm.
How about we turn one of the stars we have right now into a superstar?
It's possible. We've seen it in the individual games. We've seen it. But I think with Jalen Brunson, you usually see him hold on to the ball too long to get those wins.
Yeah.
But if you can, I think even if you got the same output with him having the ball in his hands less, that would be superstar.
What if I offer you this?
Mm-hmm.
What if I offer you the guy is already on the roster? He just needs to shoot. And he can do it. He can score.
I see where you're going. Um, it wouldn't cost you any more money.
No, it won't cost you any more money. You won't have to trade. You won't have to use assets to acquire him because you already have him.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want.
I'm offering you give Bridges the green light. Give him the green light. Hey, who sang that song Ready to Go Right Now?
John Legend.
DSJ, that's no, that ain't John Legend, bro. Stop.
Yeah, it is.
That man say John Legend. That ain't John Legend, man. That's Fritz, are you trolling?
No, it's John Legend and Andre's in there, right? Andre 3000.
No, they ain't no. Fritz trolling us, y'all. That's like I think that's like Ty Dolla Sign and Ludacris or something, right? I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now. Hey, Ivory 10, who was that? Who sings that, bro? That man said John Legend. John Legend ain't had a song since like 2008. DSJ, who that the green light song? I'm here to give Bridges the green light, right?
Does he have to work for it?
Huh?
Does he have to work for it?
Bro, has he not put in the work for it?
I mean, are they easy shots? Like,
no, man, nah. What I'm saying is, in this sense,
mm-hmm.
put the ball in Mikal Bridges' hand for him to create shots for himself and others. Instead of Alfred Griffin, the official music encyclopedia, said it's John Legend. So no other I just go when Alfred Griffin answer. Alfred Griffin is E.F. Hutton. Anybody old enough to remember E.F. Hutton?
I know the saying.
You don't know the saying, bro. You don't know the saying, bro.
When E.F. Hutton speaks, you listen.
Yeah, yep. You're right. You're right. Touche. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Yep. When Alfred Griffin speaks, people listen. What I'm offering is an alternative, right? Right. Allow Mikal Bridges to create shots for himself and others, and it would be amazing to see what Jalen Brunson's three-point percentage looks like when he's not smothered. Right now, Jalen Brunson's shooting 39% from three, and the arrow is pointing down. The arrow is pointing down. Right? It was 42, and it's been dripping down the entire season. Right now, he's at a high 39. It's like what, 39.8 or something, Fritz? Is that where it is?
Yeah, it's around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
taking less. I don't see the walk up three anymore.
Yeah.
He used to always hit you with the walk up three.
Yeah.
Cat doing the walk up three. Yeah, none of them.
Yeah. And so ultimately, I guess what I'm getting at is Jalen Brunson historically with the Knicks was shooting 47% from spot up three. But he doesn't get the spot up three, though, dog. Mm-hmm. No one's creating the spot up three for Jalen Brunson. Right? Y'all remember how Dante used to knock down those spot up threes, those relocate threes?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Jalen Brunson doesn't get those opportunities, dog. Jalen Brunson doesn't get those opportunities. So now we're in this weird thing of asking ourselves, well, why not? And the easy answer is when you have the ball in your hands all the time, you can't spot up because it's an on the dribble shot. It's a created shot for yourself. But if you allow Mikal Bridges to create his own offense with Cat and Brunson on the floor, now you're in a world where you can't double Mikal Bridges because that means you have to pay less attention to Cat, OG, or Brunson. Oh, head, I'm with you. I honestly think Bridges has far outplayed the money we're paying him, in my opinion. I think he's far outplayed his contract. That man's going to be the highest paid Knick this summer, in my mind. He's got the opportunity to. Now, he may leave some meat on the bone. That's up to him and the Knicks, if he does or does not. But if that man makes $44 million a year, I don't have a problem with it. I honestly don't have a problem with that. What about you, Fritz?
It's about the team. I know fans would be upset, but you are not going to replace him with someone.
Talking about for all the stuff that he does?
Yeah, I don't think he's replaceable. That's what you're getting paid for. It's like you can't replace me.
Ivory 10 is having another meltdown in the chat. Ivory 10 is turning into the chat version of Anthony D.
And I think people look at the money a little bit too much.
Salute to my guy Anthony D. I just want to say Anthony D's name.
That's not even elite money.
44 million is not even elite money. What are we talking about? Dudes are making 61 mil next year, right?
Yeah.
Knicks fans, what are y'all doing?
You got players coming off their rookie contract getting 36.
Yeah.
On a bad team.
Muscle.
Off the muscle on a bad team.
Yep.
Ain't showing nothing.
And these dudes that are coming out now, they're like the Castle kid and all of them, their base rookie extension amount is going to be in the 40s. These dudes are gonna be in a Steph Castle and all the rookie Pacom Dadier and them. If Pacom Dadier becomes a star with the Knicks, his rookie max extension number is going to start in the 4s. And people are going to be like, yo, that's crazy. Is it? It's all relative. It's relative.
I don't know. I think the Sixers would trade you Paul George in second. Paul George at 50. How much Paul George make? 50 something a year?
Let me see. I have so many browsers open, bro.
Yeah. Paul George is getting over 50 this year. And you look at the value that Sixers are getting from him versus the value the Knicks are getting.
Right.
And this is him playing a year cheap. You gotta factor it in too. The Knicks is stealing from him this year. He's in the 20s. They are stealing from him this year.
Bro, we're stealing money with Jalen Brunson. And the irony is we got Cat's contract, and over the next 2 years after this one, it's like we're going to be stealing money with Cat also, I think. I think Cat's contract is going to top out at, what, 53?
Yeah. I think a lot of people say it was bad. I think a lot of people say it was bad based on his old performance, but if he's giving you this kind of performance, don't even blink. It should never even come up. It should never even come up.
Right. Unleash Mikal Bridges. Give that man the Emmanuel Quickly green light. Y'all remember how green Emmanuel Quickly's light was?
Mm-hmm.
Give that man Derrick Rose in Chicago green light.
That's what we gave Dante.
Give him Dante's green light. Yeah. Let that man facilitate on offense. And I know what y'all are gonna be saying, right? And this is me picking on the chat. Chat, this is me trolling y'all. So don't get all sensitive in y'all feelings. I shouldn't have to do that. Y'all know, that we've been rocking together for so long. Y'all already know that I shouldn't have to do a disclaimer, right? Right. But I know what y'all want to say, right? But if Mikal Bridges averages 27-7, then who are we going to have to get smashed up on screens all night? We need somebody to get smashed up on screens all night, Uncle Freezy. Man, just find somebody, bro. Landry Shamet, hell. He ain't scoring no way. Fritz, there's a world where Mikal Bridges can average 26 and 6 for the Knicks. He just can't do it being the tackling dummy all night and do that. That's impossible.
He's done it before.
No, he ain't never done that before. You talking about the 26 and 6 and been the tackling dummy all night?
No. I say he ain't do both, but he's done the mid-20s.
Yeah, he can do that for sure. Yeah, he can do that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is it lets Jalen Brunson play off the ball more. Lets Jalen Brunson occasionally, and I know this is a weird concept, but occasionally Jalen Brunson will get wide open shots. Now listen, I know that just shocked y'all because y'all never saw it, right? Right. As soon as I said Jalen Brunson get a wide open shot, people are like, what? Jalen Brunson will never get a wide open shot. I know, because Jalen Brunson never plays off ball. Unleash Mikal Bridges, bro. Unleash him. So I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, I have another question for you. I'm going to change the banner at the bottom, right? And this is just something that came across my mind. I'm going to type it in first here and let y'all see it. There it is. Let me save it. And then, so Fritz, has depth and injury issues prevented this season's Knicks from reaching its potential?
Could you repeat that again?
It's at the bottom.
Uh,
As has depth and injury issues stopped the Knicks from reaching their potential? I spelled stop wrong, but I'll fix it.
I would say no. I would say no.
Okay.
I would say no. I don't think injuries have been a huge part, except for Mitchell Robinson. It hasn't been a huge issue. Actually, I saw oh man, the Knicks are the least affected team from injury this year in the NBA.
Is that because of games lost due to injury or because of impact?
I think impact.
Yeah, and see, I would disagree with it. I think the Knicks are the most impacted, and we're talking about in terms of just people missing games, the number of games missed.
Mm-hmm.
I would say no. I think we've been relatively healthy for the most part, except for one guy who we knew was hurt, and so we were playing 66% basketball without him. But if you're talking about impact, yeah, I would say so far.
Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna post that in the chat. Okay. Oh, actually, it doesn't let me do it.
Oh.
Let me see if I can send it to you.
Okay. So everybody, the poll has been open for an hour and in 54 votes. The voting is now 52% optimize and play to your strengths, and 48% just keep on keeping on. So, all right. So let's look at this. Let's see what Fritz said. Oh boy, it's something off Twitter. You know, Twitter is always right. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Fritz. I ain't gonna front, man. See the last column about wins missed. You don't know. It's impossible for them to. It's impossible for. How can we say just because Mitch, Deuce, and who else missed time? Cameron Payne. I mean, I'm talking about significant time.
Mm-hmm.
We say we would have won regardless if Deuce, Mitch, and Cameron Payne played or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 3% something like that they were saying. That's something. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like 3.82. Yeah. I don't think you can justify it. I think the absence of Mitch definitely stopped us from winning some games. And not just his presence, but the flexibility it affords a coach during offensive to defensive substitutions and rotations. I think I understand, but so chat has depth and injury issues stopped the 2024-25 Knicks from reaching their full potential. I don't I don't know, dog. I don't know. I think that question is in my mind, man. I think the depth part of it. How good do you feel like our bench is?
What was that?
How good do you feel like our bench is?
It's decent, but I think it's the way we use it. I'm more concerned the way we use it because there's probably more guys you can use.
Right.
I think it's about average.
I like Deuce. I wish everybody else was more consistent. I think Precious has outplayed Deuce. Right? Like I think Precious, the more minutes you play him, the more productive he is. Like Precious clearly is not a spurt player. He's more productive when he gets a lather going. All right, so Fritz, what's on the lunch menu for today, bro?
Lunch. Ham and cheese sandwich.
Philly has a bunch of them, bro.
Was that Philly?
Yeah, the Sixers do.
Oh
They have a
man.
bunch of ham sandwiches over there.
Yeah.
They have a Yogi Bear picnic over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody, I'm gonna wrap up right here, man. Get out of here. I want to thank everybody for supporting Knicks freestyle yesterday. That was fun, right? And the Knicks play basketball at 10 o'clock Eastern, I think, right? I think they play at 10 o'clock Eastern.
Mm.
DSJ says pasta salad with ham slices. And that pasta salad may be some vegan thing I can do. I think I can do that though. Make a vegan version of that. Fritz, I ate meat the other day, bro. My tummy ain't been the same since. I can't go back, bro. I can't go back.
Mm.
I can't, bro. Legitimately, I'm thinking like, no, I can't mess around. But anyway, hey y'all, thank you everybody for coming through and hanging out with us. I appreciate all of y'all. My crew on X, I appreciate y'all. Man, our crew on YouTube, man, appreciate y'all for coming through, hanging out. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Peace, everybody.